tonight's dinner, we are making another simple summer meal. I'd rather spend my time outside than cooking in the kitchen. Really tasty. It honestly takes like 15 minutes to cook. What am I trying to say right now? For tonight's dinner, we're making a super easy shrimp tacos. I'm just simply cooking up the shrimp in the pan, mixing some coleslaw together with an easy dressing, and then topping it with lime. Really tasty. It honestly takes like 15 minutes to cook. And I'm in a bit of a rush tonight. Well, not really in a rush, but I haven't really fed my kids a lot of shrimp, so I just want to see how they tolerate it. So I'm going to go ahead and start cooking that. I'm keeping it very simple. I'm just doing paprika. I usually add cumin and chili, like a little bit of chili into it, but I'm just doing paprika because my one baby is 15 months and I'm just kind of slowly incorporating spices, and I don't think chili would be a good hit tonight, especially when she's just starting to have shrimp or a little bit more of shrimp. So keeping it simple tonight, I just did some avocado oil and then a little bit of paprika, and then I'm going to cook these up. Okay, so while the shrimp is cooking, I am just making a simple coleslaw. To keep it even easier, I already bought the pre-made coleslaw. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could sit there and grate the cabbage, but I don't have time for that. So I just bought the already pre-made coleslaw. I'm using about half of it. And then all I am doing is drizzling some olive oil on it. And a little tip for oils. So olive oil is really good to use at low smoke points, so like low heat, or use it as a drizzle. That's really the best way to use olive oil. If you are cooking at like a high temperature, you want to use something like avocado oil. And don't mind the steak knife that I'm using to cut things. I just still have most of my knives packed away and I can't seem to find the bin that they're packed in, so we're using a steak knife today. And now all I'm doing is just adding a lime in, about half to 1 lime fresh juice into the coleslaw, and then we'll just mix it up. Love to try the homemade like mayonnaise, but for now I'm using the commercial mayonnaise. But I want to try, like, you know, the homemade mayonnaise that you can do, it's like an egg and some oil and stuff. If you have a good recipe, then let me know, because I would love to try it out. And I'm also curious how long it lasts in the fridge for. So I had to turn that shrimp down because I'm hearing it sizzle back there. I added half a lime, some mayo, and then a little bit of dill. Well, a lot of dill actually.
So the next recipe I am making is these delicious smash burgers. I have actually never made a smash burger before. I usually opt for like a turkey burger or just a traditional beef burger. But we just got back from the beach and they had the most delicious smash burgers served like near the beach side. And I just had to try them. So I know there's lots of different ways to make them and how to press them down. I honestly used a mason jar, just the bottom of it. 'Cause that's all I had to like really press them down, and it actually really turned out well. So they were a hit here in our household. And I made some fresh French fries as well. So I simply just cut it up with I just cut up the potatoes and I soak them in an ice cold bath. So that is the key to make like a nice crispy outside for the French fry and a nice soft side from the inside. So all you do is just chop up the potatoes, throw them in a bowl of ice with water, let them soak for up to like a half hour, even an hour if you have time. I think I soaked them for about 20 minutes here and they still turned out amazing. I just laid them out on a dry towel and then kind of just soaked off all the excess water on them, put them on some parchment paper, put some avocado oil onto it, and then sprinkled it with whatever spices you like or even just salt and pepper. And then I placed it in my oven for about, I think it was 30 minutes. And they turned out so good and they were a perfect pair with the smash burger. So honestly, they were such a hit. And then I moved on to the burgers as well, and I tried to press down as much as I could with my hands. And then I put them just into a pan with a little bit of avocado oil. And you can see here that I just used the mason jar, like the bottom of it. And I just tried to squish them down as much as possible because even when you start cooking them, they do tend to rise a little bit. So try and squish them down as much as possible. And then I just put the pan lid over top and let them cook a little bit. And I think what is just the best about this meal is that it was kid friendly. My kids absolutely loved it. I mean, you really can't go wrong with a summer burger no matter what kind you do. But I just kept the topping simple: tomatoes, onions, avocado, and lettuce.
For tonight's dinner, we are making another simple summer meal because I'd much rather spend my time outside than cooking in the kitchen in the summer because summer is just so short here in Canada. So we are making a falafel dinner. This time I have just bought falafels from the local grocery store. I really like this brand. I know it's not carried in all grocery stores, but the ingredients are very simple. It's just chickpeas, onions, garlic, chickpea flour, cilantro, spices, baking powder, and baking soda. So, I mean, it's pretty much wholesome ingredients. All you do is put it on in the oven for 400 degrees, bake for 10 to 12 minutes, which I love because that's the same amount of time that the rice takes. I add a little bit of turmeric into the rice, and I make a little like quick pasta salad. Sometimes I make it with pasta, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just do cucumber, onion, and tomato, and a little bit of dressing and feta cheese. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. So I'll take you along and make this yummy summer meal that is ready in literally like 20 minutes or less.
You saw me in the crowd, they called the last call. I was lost in the noise, oh my. But you opened my eyes, yeah, the story of hope began that night. Without a clue of what's coming next, was I
always thought we were out of olives, and that's like the reason why I make a Greek salad, literally for the olives. I'm wondering if anyone else can agree with that because I am such like a fan of like salt or salty type food, like olives. I absolutely love them. So I'm just going to make some quick salad. I'm just doing some chopped cucumber, some tomatoes, olives, and some feta cheese, and then probably just drizzling some olive oil on top, full of some good healthy fats, which is incredible for our hormone health and for any type of inflammation that you're dealing with. So it's an easy little staple that you can include into your diet.
Was it written somewhere, part of a plan? I have these thoughts in my head. Can you make it make sense? How a heart can burn with joy, then suddenly feel cold. Still I trust there's more to know. Feels like my head's underwater, but you're there at the surface, lifting me through the doubt. Can you make it make sense? How a heart can heal again when the fire never ends. Do you remember that night, you and me in the dark? The rain was pouring outside. Days turned into months, but I felt your hand. I knew I would.
So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, or actually closer to 9 now. And I'm just going to prep some homemade barbecue sauce for tonight's dinner. I think we're going to make barbecue chicken thighs on the barbecue. So I'm just gonna prep some sauce to go with it and then stick it in the fridge for later.
Feels like my head's underwater, but you're there at the surface, lifting me through the doubt. Can you make it make sense? How a heart can heal again when the fire never ends. Do you remember that night, you and me in the dark? The rain was pouring outside. Days turned into months, but I felt your hand. I knew I would be alright, without a clue of what's coming next. But you're still leading with each and every step. Is it
So I'm just going to turn up the heat a little bit, let it come to a simmer, and cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes. I am definitely not pro at making barbecue sauce, so I found this recipe online and I made a few adjustments, but it's absolutely delicious.
part of your plan? I have these thoughts in my head. Can you make it make sense? How a heart can burn with joy, then suddenly feel cold. Still I trust there's more to know. Feels like my
Hoping the lighting is okay because it is a thunderstorm outside. We were hoping to do a barbecue tonight, but we're going to improvise and still use the barbecue sauce that we made earlier and just throw them in the oven and cook them in the oven for a little while, and then make also a couscous salad to go with it and use some leftover Greek pasta salad from the other night. I'm just going to grab the couscous. I like to use this one. It's like a little pearl couscous. I think it just looks really pretty and it's just fun and it makes it fun to eat. So we'll do that.
So I ended up just tossing the leftover Greek salad into the couscous. I probably would have made a little bit more couscous, but it worked. And I absolutely love trying to use leftovers in the next night's dinner if I can, because we're not always the best at eating them for lunch. But what about you? Do you like leftovers? Are you a fan of them or no? We are like hit or miss depending on the week, I guess. But we just served it up with the barbecue chicken thighs and then the couscous salad, and that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on all things summer meal prep and the summer inspired meals. And I hope to see you in the next video. I'm happy to be back to YouTube. Thanks again for watching.